Make a long story short, we did sail in 1980 that captain and navigated and sailed by boats from Hawaii. Mom was on board to make sure we didn't make big mistakes and continue the teaching. We get back home, successful voyage. He's packing his bags for the first time, 2 years, never won once. Stay with us. My mom comes into his bedroom, he's packing his bag. When he's on his way home after the voyage, Mom says, Nainoa, Mom, how come you came back? How come you came back to teach Nainoa when you said you wouldn't? And he said, Mom said, looked at my mom and said, when he came to Micronesia, he asked me to teach. When I look into his eyes, I know he's going to go. If I don't come to teach, maybe he die. When I say this is about teachers, it is. It's about teachers who teach the world outside the box of the classrooms. Teachers who ultimately share everything that are all kinds of different levels, whether intellectual or it's passion or it's emotional. These teachers, fundamentally, the will to self, the ADI cows, my dad, the moms, they're with you all the way. And that's what it took. And then we sailed. Real quickly, I'll end this real quickly. This is your journey. 85 to 87, 2 years, 60,000 miles from Polynesian. Bay of Islands. Not talking about the photo or walk, marriage, bringing cultures together, ancestral family. Our native Hawaiian speakers speak with them 4,500 miles away. 80s, 90s, 95, working with the Christian Museum again, a joint project to build a voyaging canoe out of the things that are before us. So players made mostly around native materials to bring our puna, our elders together to relearn what it takes to build deep sea voyaging canoes, sail at speed. Long story. Searched 9 months in the cold forest. I don't want to go into it, take too long, but our forest neglect, abuse, poor leadership decisions. 95% of the forest is on the original forest. And the 5% that's left is under attack. Alien species. We knew to go someplace else to shoot trees. We knew that there were second source of trees that came from the Pacific Northwest by current and randomly hit our shores. Justin Brown, good friend to Herb Connie, elder Southeast Alaska, Clinton Indian native. They said that these two trees, no cost, 220 feet tall, 8 feet wide, weigh 100 tons each. Gift for the children, for Hawaiian kids. At the Fishing Museum, this canoe was constructed. We guessed it was a $250,000 man-hours belonged in. Again, that partnership is essential. Canoes go where we go. We sailed it in the same period of the 90s and trained other 6 other teaching navigators from Cook Islands and from Tahiti and from New Zealand. We built 8 voyaging canoes in that period. We sailed back to Hawaii. Then eventually we took Hawaii to the Pacific Northwest via Manchester to Seattle. We sailed 1,000-mile Intercoastal Marine Highway in Alaska. By the way, that's not class. Alaska was awesome. 100 times land mass, 1,000 times the sheer natural resources and biomass that it is in Hawaii. Half the population, they fiercely protect everything in the national environment. In Hawaii, we give it away. So they managed their well, we managed our decline. Somehow it's okay. We have a lot to learn from other parts of the earth. ICA, beautiful voyage. And then in 1999, we sailed to the single most isolated landmass on the planet, called Rapa. When you go down to the beach of Waikiki, look to the east, you see Diamond, look to the west, you see Barbers Point. Rapa Nui is so small, you can put it in Mamala Bay. 2,000 miles from the Americas, 1,600 miles from Toronto Archipelago. Excuse me. And no reason to go there, except for our ancestors found this around 600 years ago. And so we tried, trained, 2 years, 14,000 miles, 5 trip, 5 days. That's Max Yarrow's eyeball, Miles' cousin. And we brought on board story, but I didn't navigate that voyage. I was just kind of there for the ride. This is Aaron, one of our watch captains. Max was so frustrated. He saw the island about a half an hour, and he has these really powerful eyes, but Aaron's got those powerful eyeglasses. It took him half an hour to see it. But it was a powerful voyage. It was extraordinary. And then 2004, our island trippers. You're on Oahu, and we typically teach, 8 major Hawaiian islands. But there is another set of that map, about 10 other islands, 1,200 miles, called Northwestern Hawaiian Islands. It's at risk because of inappropriate tourism and inappropriate fishing practices. In the world of decline in the ocean, so we all know acidification, global warming, sea level rising, 90% of the big fish are gone. Where do we take responsibility for our land so that we can make a global contribution to renewal? So we do it there. So we wanted to put our values into classrooms and living rooms by going there so that to help protect and understand that those values need to be respected. Conservation and learning and research. This is the first island called Nainoa. Extraordinary cultural place. This is Marl Reef. We dove every island. I was there, kind of a bad day. But we were there. And this side is 42 sharks. Probably 300 around us. It was our fault. It's one of the water bottles. One of these water bottles. Me and I don't know if it's a friend of mine anymore. We filled it up with water, took it down 60 feet with super tanks, and just we filled it with the air instead of rubbing it. Because we were trying to trap these, what we call jacks, what we call them gorillas. So you want to use a photographer to take a photo. Then he grabbed the bottle out of my hand and used to look up and instead of tracking the jacks, instead of tracking all these sharks, there was a new noise on this reef. And we couldn't stop it, it just kept coming, so we started crawling from coral to coral, found the anchor chain. This is the photo going up the anchor chain. But that's the way it's supposed to be. That is the apex of life. And that picture, that experience reminds me of how important those islands need to be the benchmark of things to be careful as we restore these islands, the main. The last voyage. Started in 2000. Mao, every time that he come to Hawaii, would talk about, as he was helping us recover, and we were building more canoes, more navigators, at the very same time, the irony that in his islands, they're in the cultural decline. That of the 6 masters in 1976, there's no master after him. So every year he'd come and talk about the chronic story of decline. Year 2000, he'd come to my house, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, he says, you know, Nainoa, and I was waiting for this conversation. I'm too old. My children have too much to learn. It's too late. There's no time. And what flashes in your mind at that moment is the issue of extinction. Us guys can navigate, we're not on. And we never will be. It's extinction. And about 15 minutes later, Mao goes, the job of the navigator is to get out of the storm. He goes, but it's okay, because in Hawaii, I put the seed in the ground. And you are, my students, you are the seed. And I listened to that, understood someday. He said, someday when my people want to learn, they can come to Hawaii to learn about him. Because he's in the seed. The seeds are there. So I understood my job. My instructions is to wait. But our community didn't wait. The loss of that culture in his islands, the canoes that had been left in the canoe houses, that Simeon Hokulea, his last one that Mao built. Our community got together, not under my leadership, and built this canoe called Hungam Mice. Gift to Mom. The best gift you could imagine. 5 years. Sweat. Tears. grassroots. Hokulea became school for Micronesian new navigators brought to Hawaii. 3,500 miles from Hawaii to Sapua on voyage with plenty of time to teach. And we sailed 2 canoes. Hokulea escorted one young Mason to where it's supposed to be, Sapua. The world would see this as probably the most insignificant man, but this returns to our school with what we're supposed to do, take a gift. The most significant man because it is our school. Took the gift to Sapua and fundamentally gave it to what Mao wanted and ultimately give it to children so that they can remember, not forget who they are.